Hey everybody, yes, I'm on the XJ6, my own bike for once. But I will be talking about review bikes, and as the title says, why I don't do press days. I've actively been saying no to press days now for, press launches, press days where, like the big motorcycle manufacturers invite you down to ride the bike around, make some videos or whatever. It's the press day for the press. And I've always said no to those, and that might seem counterintuitive for a channel like mine that wants to review bikes and things, but it's because I don't want to review bikes in that perspective. Now, I have no problem with press days. They have a place, they have a reason for being there. It's one of the easiest ways to get a lot of people together when the bike first comes out, opposed to later down the line when the models are available because not so many people are after them. Obviously, there is a huge benefit to doing the press days, that you get that exclusivity, that freshness of new information, new video on the bike. And I rarely get that because obviously I'm always much later down the line, which is not great for me. And again, you might say, well, why wouldn't you go for the press day to get the views? I just don't like them, and this is not me throwing shade at anyone who does them or anything like that. As I say, I understand the reason they're there. I just don't really I just don't want to do them. When I review a bike, I don't want it to be, I do first rides in a day. And when I borrow bikes from dealerships directly, it's a first ride done in half a day. It depends on how long I can get the bike for. But then it's very much reflected in what I say about the bike from testing it. And now I've tested a lot of bikes, I can quite quickly get some sort of, conclusions through the comparison between one type of bike and another. Or ideally with forward-thinking companies like Triumph, English Electric, Lex Moto, the people who lend me the bikes directly, that's the ones that allow me to do the reviews the way that I want to do them, because I have them for days, not just a day, so I can really get to know them. I don't have any minders, I don't have anyone, telling me where and where I can't go, what I can and can't do. I don't, I'm not getting taken to any hotels or taken to any lovely places to go and ride this bike, because yeah, sure, you can give an honest review on a bike when you go to one of those things, but I do feel like if you've gone to, you've taken to a nice place in Europe, they look after you, 5-star hotels, free food and all that, you might not change your opinion on the bike, but what it might do is just butter it a little bit. Maybe the golden points are a little bit more shiny, maybe the not so good points aren't so obvious, because who can notice a slightly annoying position of a peg or something while you're going through absolutely amazing scenery. So that's my kind of perspective, and why I've always said no, I don't want to do those. I want to do it independently, I want to do it on my own, my rules, or get lost, basically. And as you've seen, I have made completely honest videos about like the Triumphs and things that I've been lent. I point out issues with them, I do everything in my power to give you the best answer I can. The reason why I do that is because if you later buy the bike and find something different to the way that I do, you might be like, hey Spicer Man, you said this bike was amazingly smooth, but actually in reality it rides like a bag of bolts, or something like that. Now, the way I normally end up getting a connection with one of these companies directly is they'll contact me about a press day. I will say, I'm afraid I don't do press days. It's kind of like, it isn't a promise to my patrons, but it kind of is in ways. Like I've said that I will do everything in my powers to avoid doing Raid Shadow Legend ads and stuff like that. While the channel can be supported through Patreon and the views alone, and merch and those sorts of things, it gives me the ability to give what can be conceived as the most honest answer. I always will give you the honest answer, but if I have no benefits, from those people, then I can give you a more honest answer. And I also don't need to be afraid of offending the companies and risking them not giving me a bike again. That will be their loss, not mine. It will be my loss because I won't get to review their bikes anymore, and that's a thing. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to keep the bikes coming by not saying things, or by saying things I don't believe in, or by not saying things I do believe in. I've got to say the negative points. I could just avoid saying them, but I don't, because it's important. There's also another interesting thing to this, which I think is good for the manufacturers, which is that I recently had a comment on my first ride, or not my first ride, yeah, it was my first ride of the Triumph, where I said about how it's interesting that my first rides, even though they're just emotional reactions and don't actually have any of all the information I've worked on to get to the review that's at the end, the first rides get more views than the reviews. As someone said, I'm not really interested in buying this bike. I'm just interested in sort of how you feel about it. and for that reason the first rides kind of work better for me. And that's like, damn good point. That is exactly why the first rides get more views. Fair enough. However, I hope the manufacturers see that, yes, doing a first ride, but then doing a series of videos testing the bike, and then showing a video at the end, you know, the review of all my thoughts put together. So you can sort of, I'm sort of showing my maths, as it were, as well as my results at the end. I feel like those sorts of videos actually translate more into sales than just people watching the videos, if you know what I mean. Like, I am sure that an awful lot of people that watch 1000cc motorcycle reviews aren't even old enough to ride a 50. Because they're looking to the future, but they always look to the exciting, the fast, and those sorts of things. Hence the question of all new riders being how, or non-riders when they see your bike, being how fast does it go? As if it's the only top trump thing you need to know. Now obviously if I was completely independent and I didn't need funding of any sort, then that would probably be the best situation. But unfortunately, because I make the videos that I do, and you know, the more long-winded versions rather than the catchy quick ones from the press days, I don't get the same viewership. And because I do this full time and I put in, like, you know, more than full-time hours every day into doing this, there's no way of me like independently funding it. That was the idea of getting Patreon and relying on the views and stuff like that, not getting ads and sponsorships necessarily. Well, channel sponsorships, yes, that's absolutely fantastic. You know, like Wiimoto, Haslemere Motorcycles, you know, they're basically just for a little bit of promotion at the front of the video, they give me a little bit of money. It's not a huge amount of money, in fact it's probably a lot less than I should be charging, but I do it fairly, but it helps me. Every little bit here and there helps me. So basically doing the reviews the way that I do, saying no to the press days and doing these long-winded, you might say, reviews, but I think can be also very interesting to learn about different types of motorcycles, because that's the thing I learned the most from reviewing these bikes, is about different types of bikes. And learning about those through watching reviews can still teach you things. You don't need to buy the bike to understand nuanced things about, for instance, like how rake effects feel and things like that, as in cornering feel. So that's why I do the reviews the way I do. That's why I say no to press days. It is also why my patrons are so darn important, because the 0.3% of the audience, it's actually a bit less than that because we're not 100k yet, we're getting close to 94k, because that 0.3% of the people is making the difference between, you know, YouTube doing it full-time not being enough and it being okay. It's thanks to them. So I'm beholden to them, no company, because without them I can't, you know, I can't do this anyway. And that's why I'm so indebted and grateful to them, and do everything I can to make that, you know, buck a month worthwhile. Now this brings me on to a very common question, or a common suggestion I get from people, which is, oh Spicy, I would love to see you review XYZ bike, you know, this by whoever. The thing is, if it's with a manufacturer I don't already work with, as you've seen like Triumph or English Electric can get me zeros and things like that, and I do have a very interesting electric bike coming in September, look this way please with me. If it's not one of those makes, I can't get them. And asking me to ask Yamaha to lend me a bike has proven to not be fruitful. You know, from the times I've been invited to press days, I've said, hey, I don't do them, would you be interested in doing it this way? Could you get someone in contact? We could at least discuss it. I've heard nothing. Not just Yamaha, other companies as well, because they don't really want to do it in the way that I do it. And that's the risk I'm taking here. I'm trying to lead a way rather than follow the way. As I say, forward-thinking companies have seen this and been like, that's valuable enough to lend that bike, that guy a bike. But the point is, if you want to see me on a bike, rather than asking me, ask the company. You know, tweet Yamaha, hey Yamaha Motorcycles, we would love it if you could get Spice 110 one of these bikes, or we'd love it if you could work with Spice 110 so we could see some reviews on your bikes. If enough people sort of, you know, tell them it's something they want to see, they'll make that happen, because they can see the customer base, the audience asking for it, opposed to the creator. You know, I don't have a ginormous channel. I have, as I say, I'm approaching 100,000 subscribers, and I know to a lot of people that might seem like a massive channel. I have been working on this for 10 and a bit years. That's one upload every 2.2 days on average for 10 years. I've put my everything into this. You know, some channels have grown 10 times that in a year. So although I'm saying I have a smaller channel, I don't have a tiny channel, I just don't have one of these massive channels. And remember that the numbers is what draws the people in, draws the companies in. Now, equally, with some of these companies, they don't really like the idea of giving a bike to someone who might say anything. But then I'm completely fair with these things. You know, I'm actually a reasonable person. I understand why things are done the way they are, and I can see things from perspectives that aren't just my own opinions. You know, I review bikes that aren't really necessarily for me, but I can put myself in the mindset of someone who might want one of those bikes and find the good and the bad. In fact, in most cases, I've just learned the more and more that I ride different styles of bikes, including the ones that I thought I wouldn't like, that I shouldn't have been so pig-headed and just seen what they were like to start with. You know, don't draw a judgment on a type of bike until you've ridden a few. Not just one, a few, and a few times. That's also where I found my truths. I mean, I think most of the people that watch this channel know I love small bikes. Small, nippy, little fun bikes in twisty roads is like the best fun I'll ever have. It brings me to life, as some people say. Put me in a 1000cc sports bike, sure. I mean, I can assess it, I can enjoy it, I can be in awe of its power and its speed, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just being in awe of power and speed, and if that's the thing you're in awe of, well then every 1000 could be full of awe and power and speed. I hope you're following me here, because I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, but never really been able to think of a way of explaining it, and I thought, well, maybe the reason I've never come up with a way of explaining it that I feel people won't misunderstand or misconstrue, there is no way of saying that, because this is the internet, so I can just say honestly and how the way that I choose to do things, and you know, you can watch this and see it. I think my ultimate goal with what I do on YouTube, other than just being fulfilled and happy and making videos and basically doing what I feel like I was supposed to do. You know, some people are plumbers, some people are electricians, some people are whatever that is, whatever you are, you know. I'm a bit of everything. I mainly feel like I'm just a creative person, and whether I'm using, you know, a pen or a welder or a camera or whatever I'm using, it's doing that inspires me and makes me feel happy and fulfilled. And motorcycles is, you know, well, I've basically put my life in 100% into motorcycles in a way that a lot of people can't do, and I'm immensely grateful for it. But equally, I do know I've earned it. And it's something I will actually say now. I've come to realise, like, Jesus, one video every 2.2 days for 10 years, that is actually a unhealthy achievement. And I've always tried to progress and push the quality as time goes on, as my, you know, means and budget allows and the opportunities that come to me allow. There's a million things I'd like to do in the future. Lots of things I'd like to do videos on and experiences and stuff, but it's just that will happen when the channel's in a position to do those things, when I feel like I'm comfortable enough to do that. Of course, this life is a very risky one. The whole time you're wondering, am I just sending myself further and further down the wrong path that's going to lead to... But you can't think like that. It has to be plan A. This is what's been working for this long. Everything I did before just made me end up feeling a lot worse about life. So I just concentrated doing this, and everything's been going up since. So there you go. That is why I say no to press launches and press days, and why I do things the way I do. Also to say, you know, the list of things that I've turned down is possibly more impressive than the list of things I've actually done, but at least all the things I've done in the way that I always wanted to, and I've never said yes to something I'm not happy about. This is just the way it is. And yes, of course, now I'm going to push my Patreon, because it's because of the patronage that I'm able to keep this channel going. It's what saved my butt through COVID. You know, if you remember, I went full-time, gave up the metalworks just a few months before COVID started. Smart move. I do love a lot of people. It was like a lot of people really got into a real position of like, now is the time. Now is my time. I believe in myself. I'm going to drop everything and just get on. And then the world's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. But I'm not complaining. You know, as I say, I've got through COVID way better than a lot of people. You know, and a lot better than a lot of people, if you know what I mean. I'm just glad to still be here doing this and interacting with you guys. So yeah, if you want to help support this channel, please do. If you don't want to do it through Patreon, there are other ways of doing it, and I genuinely mean this. Like the videos. I literally get 100 less likes per video normally than I have people paying to watch the channel. I know, I've spoken to people, and even my patrons will say, like the people I speak to on almost a daily, or if not a daily basis, They will say, "Oh, no, I always forget to like them." And I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at anyone forgetting to like a video. I know it's annoying. Every video you go to, people say, "Can you like this video? Can you like this video?" And it becomes background noise, and you don't want to change the thing you're doing. I know, I get it. Which is why I hate the like system on YouTube, and the subscription system doesn't work anymore anyway. But I can't control those things. Oh, avoiding a bee. Not going down that road again. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the support of all the people that have supported my channel along the way, and the people that continue to do it. Without you, this wouldn't be possible, and as I say, that's why I'm beholden to you, and not making a manufacturer happy. Not saying that other people are doing that. I don't want to start some big, drama about things. It's just my perspective on it, whether you believe it or not. That was a very hidden pigeon. Hidden pigeon.